my channel, and if you're new, hey, what's up? My name is Tanya, and thank you all so much for joining in and watching this video. This video shout out goes to T. Grayson. T. Grayson, oh my goodness, you are such an incredible rock star on this channel, and I have to tell you how much I so truly appreciate it. You comment on every video, you like them, you are here for it, you support me, this journey. I mean, I know all my fans do, but I just had to make sure that you know that none of your comments go unnoticed. I know that you try your hardest. You even write, like, you know, it's not just one or two here and there. Like, you write comments on every video. Even if you're late on a couple of videos, you catch up on the videos, you comment on them, and I notice all of that, and I just really want you to know that I do notice it, that I appreciate it more than I can tell you, and it melts my heart, it warms my heart. I wish I could hug you, and Yor agrees with me. He's cheering you on. So I wish that we could meet you and your hubby so much, because I think that we would all get along so wonderfully, and I just love you so dearly, and I needed you to know how much you are so greatly appreciated on this channel, and how happy I am that you found this channel and subscribed and smashed that subscribe button, and I'm sure you have that notification bell on, and I know you like my videos, so thank you so much. Now, I'm gonna get into it. This is a very highly requested video, so I'm gonna roll up the sleeves because we got a lot of brushes to get into. I'm going to kind of go over, not all my brushes, because there's like at least 300, but all of the brushes that I use both on and off camera, and then people have asked also for detailed explanations behind the brushes, so this is going to be a long video. Eeyore! And I will put a timestamp in at the end where I sum up my most used brushes and the ones that I always use on YouTube for you guys, because I do try to keep them very consistent for YouTube purposes, so I'm not always throwing out, like, you know, 50 different brushes at you in all different tutorials, because I hated when I would watch somebody else and they would throw, you know, 100 brushes in one tutorial, and it's like, do I need all those brushes? No, you don't need all these brushes. You don't need all the brushes I'm about to talk about. Do not start getting overwhelmed. I've been collecting these brushes for years. So before you even, like, don't get overwhelmed. Don't think that you need all these brushes. You absolutely do not need them. You can start collecting brushes. I'm a YouTuber, so that's why I have more brushes than an average person would. I personally would never have this many brushes if I didn't do YouTube. I did not have nearly, I had a tenth maybe of these brushes. I don't even think a tenth of these brushes before starting a channel. So I do want to let you guys know that. Do not feel like, you know, you're lacking in the brush department if you don't have all of these. They are not like you need to go run out and buy them. Don't ever feel that way about anything when you're watching a YouTuber. Don't ever feel that way. It's a different world, and I can tell you guys that because I'm a consumer and I've been on the other side of the camera and in the camera. So just know that, okay? And I've given up on my eye. I have fixed this at least 100 times today, and even this one started running. So we're also just gonna let it run. Okay, so, and then I will wrap it up at the end with the ones that I do use for you guys most often that I would really recommend to you, and then we will go from there. Okay. I don't even know how to tackle this. I have like, I guess I'm gonna start with like a luxury one that is so unnecessary, but I do use this off of camera. I bought the Marc Jacobs bronzing brush with the collection last summer, and I actually don't like this brush at all for the face. I think that it is too dense, too big. I don't know if my head, see, there we go. I don't know if my head's too small or what, but I do not like this at all when it comes to the face. It is the heaviest, best quality brush though that I've ever felt, and this is a freaking weapon. So I would recommend it for that. But what I do use this for is when I'm not bronzy right now, but this is the best body bronzer brush that I've ever used. And so that's what I kept it for. It was a limited edition brush at the time, so I didn't want to return it because I am a collector. Not necessary. If you guys were ever thinking of picking it up, I really, really don't recommend it for the face. I think there are much better options. But it is really great for body bronzing. Then, I used to use this one like crazy before I fell in love with a different combo. But the It Cosmetics Heavenly Skin One Sweet Wonder number 705 is an amazing contour, and it has built-in somehow anti-aging benefits in this brush, and this used to be my perfect contour. You can then blend it upward and it's nice and quick and easy, and so I really did like this one, and I still do like it a lot, but it is really expensive unless you can get it on a deal, something for free on like a shopping channel. This gets included often that way, and this is really great for contour. You can get your chin and everything really nicely, the perimeters of your face, so this is a great contour brush. Then I actually have a couple different, oh my gosh, why am I blanking? Not dual fiber. Stippling brushes, and this is the Sonia Kashuk number 115, and I also, like, I've got a few different sizes. I have the Sephora one, which is much bigger. You can see the Sonia Kashuk Sephora, and then I have a much smaller one that we'll get to as well from ColourPop, which is really great. I have a whole bunch of different sizes depending on why I need to diffuse my makeup. So I love stippling brushes because if I've applied too much brush, too much bronzer, highlight, not usually. This is a great option. My face is set, so it's not really going to do anything. But if you use a stippling brush, this will help you soften up any harsh lines, take away too much product, and you need a stippling brush. I can tell you that. Everybody from time to time goes in too heavy-handed with blush, bronzer, contour, highlight. I don't think highlight, but you know, with makeup in general, and a stippling brush is your magic eraser. I don't think it necessarily matters on the brand. I have, like I said, ColourPop, Sonia Kashuk, Sephora. I love them all, but I think the size matters. I love my ColourPop one because it is so small. Or I think it's in my face. We'll get there. Because it is so small, so if I like just mess up like here, I can take the ColourPop one and just kind of diffuse it out here. If I've made a big mess up, my Sephora one is nice and big, and the Sonia Kashuk is a nice medium ground. You don't need all three. I would recommend a nice, tiny, precise one, and then, you know, a medium or a big one, because the medium one, you could work your way around, and then at least you have the option. With the large one, it's just large and in charge. So that is just gonna depend on how you need your face, if it's a larger face, smaller face, what you do. But I highly recommend some sort of a diffuser brush. It will change your makeup game if you guys have made a mistake. Oh my god, there's so many brushes. Alright. This Luxie brush, the 640 Pro Precision Tapered, is the fluffiest. This has been like my holy grail for any kind of fallout from eyeshadow, whenever there's eyeshadow from the lower lash line, because you guys know I do my oh my god, I'm having such a hard time speaking. I have a really bad migraine. I had my really important interview that went so well, by the way, and I kind of like crashed from the interview and my headache has like hit me, so I'm sorry, bear with me. But this has saved me so many times because it is so fluffy that when you wipe it off with a light hand, it does not let any of that eyeshadow actually like melt into the skin or get caught in the skin. This brush I cannot recommend to you guys enough, or if you can find something that's this shape, this fluffy, and that's really gonna just like whoosh, because this is perfection. It has so much flexibility to it. So this one is like, stays top shelf. It doesn't go anywhere. Then, okay. The Marc Jacobs, the shape. This is perfect for more of that like solid highlighter when you're trying to get like a solid highlight up here. This one works really well for solids. If you don't want to use your fingers, it's not necessary, but it does the trick. So if you guys are looking for like a really densely packed brush and you're having a really hard time applying any kind of liquid, more of a solid type of highlight to your face, this brush will really get the job done nicely for you, and it will let you shape it, and it's just perfect. It's not too big, so I haven't found anything that's similar to this. The closest thing in shape, and it's still not comparable, is the Crown brush, and it doesn't have a number or anything on it, and it just isn't dense enough. I mean, the Crown brushes are much more affordable, but they're like, you can just see how that moves, and then you can see that's more dense, and it has way more bristles packed into it, where this is like, so I know this is pricey, but if you love those kind of highlights, this brush is kind of the way to go, unfortunately. So obviously you guys know I'm obsessed with the Marc Jacobs, the Crease brush. This one I really cannot recommend enough because it has the perfect taper to get right up in that crease, and then if you lay some product flat on one end of it, you can also get it, whoa, see? You can also get it flat in the crease and then get it so it will work just above too, so you can deepen up both the crease and slightly above where your eye will rest on the socket up in here. So this brush is so perfect for that, and I have not found something that's really comparable to this for how dense it is, but how flexible it is, for how many bristles are in this. Like, this brush is just perfection. Marc Jacobs is cruelty free, so you don't have to worry about cruelty free. He's like Wayne Goss. So this one really, it's expensive, but it is worth the investment. I cannot tell you how much I recommend that to you guys. Then, oh my goodness, this Luxie 207 medium angled shading brush. I love the shape of this because this one will let you carve out your eye with powder. So if you're not trying to do a cut crease, but you want to still be able to carve your lid, it has that shape to it that allows you to carve it. Sorry, using the viewfinder is really hard. And it really is the perfect shape to carve out your shadow. My bra is showing. To carve out your lid with shadow. And then this could be a really great step for somebody that is too scared to do a cut crease, but you want to start practicing a cut crease, to have a brush that's angled that way so you can start doing a cut crease with shadow instead of going right in with concealer or a cream product. And I really do like that brush a lot. Another one from Luxie is the 141 Mini Round. This one is so great for just buffing out that lower lash line. So just buffing and buffing and buffing compared to, which I'm also obsessed with, the Luxie 111 Mini Flat Angled. These two I both love for the lower lash line. This one has that angle to it, so it like hugs your lower lash line when you're trying to blend because of that shape to it, where this one is almost like a domed pencil shape, and this one will just really buff out everything for you. So if you have a really harsh edge that you just can't blend, because this one is much softer, so this one I really like when I'm just trying to like marry all the colors together. But if I had something that was just too harsh, an eyeliner that just won't budge, this shape right here is perfect for just moving it. And you can get these ones, all of these little, oh, so sorry, my allergies. You can get all of these Luxie ones that I just thought, this guy, these two, and a couple other ones that I am going to talk about in a 5-piece kit, so you can save a little bit of money that way. And that's how I picked up mine, in a 5-piece kit. So those ones I cannot recommend to you enough. And then there is a difference in like foundation brushes that are like this. So this one is the Luxie 510 foundation, and this is the MAC 190. And this is like those firm synthetic bristles, where the Luxie is like those, they're synthetic too. I don't know how to, like faux hair synthetic, where this is like straight up like the plasticky synthetic. So this is going to actually absorb some of your cream when you're putting it on, where this is going to allow you to just grab it and paint it on your face, because this is not going to absorb product. And I do like both of them for different reasons, different products, different textures. But if I am grabbing something to paint it on, this is going to absorb more. I'm going to lose more product, but it's softer on my skin. This one, I'm not going to really lose product, but it's very, very dense on the, on the skin. So it's going to depend on if I've done a treatment the night before, like a retinol treatment, if I've done a microdermabrasion treatment, if I've done some kind of a peel at home, something like that, then I always like to go in with something that's softer rather than something that's more dense. So that's why I like to have both options on hand if I'm painting something on my face. And this kind of a brush, not this one, but this type of material also comes in very handy when you want to take a mask from a jar and you want to take the mask out of the jar and put the mask on your face. These are the type of bristles that you want to use. And you can absolutely find this kind of a brush from any brand. I love MAC. I'm a MAC member and I get a lot of perks through MAC, so I have a MAC one instead, but I do have both. I love both. They're just for different reasons. That's all. Holy cow! All right. My Moda Pro, Moda Pro is part of Royal and Lanicle, and then they have like different types of sub brush categories, because Royal and Lanicle is like the mother brand, so Moda Pro is like a subcategory. So I don't have actually, because I think this is even Moda. Oh, I have one Royal and Lanicle, but I always use my Luxie. Okay, but this is Moda Pro. You guys have seen me use this one so many times. It's the Crease brush BMX-430. This one I think is a perfect second transition brush. It is just so fluffy and so perfect with how the flexibility is, how much space it covers when you're blending. It lets you go in circular motions to buff or windshield wiper motions. This brush is incredible. Like, if you can only have a couple of blending brushes, I would so go for the Carity E31 to lay a nice big base of your initial shade down. Then I would go for the Moda Pro Crease because that's such a nice second transition. And then I would go for, it's expensive, but make the investment in the Marc Jacobs the Crease brush. This will make such a difference. So, but if you don't want to use these guys, there's still more options coming your way. A lot of options coming your way. Okay, so then I do have a couple from Urban Decay as well. Let's see which ones are standing out. Okay, these two from Urban Decay you can see are very different. So this one would be similar for like a larger going in brush, but it's way more dense than my other brushes. Like, to me, there's no brush that I've come across that compares to my Carity E31, because even though the shape is somewhat similar, like it looks like they would be somewhat similar. This one is just so soft, the Carity, and disperses such a nice amount of product, where the Urban Decay one does still blend out really, really nicely, but it's much more dense. Like, can you see that? And then because the bristles are so long, you have to really go in with a light hand, and it's still not as precise. Like, it just doesn't give an seamless blend. You have to kind of blend and blend and blend. And if you're trying to do it quickly, you want brushes that are going to give you more of a seamless blend, rather than brushes where you're going to have to keep going back in it and back in it and back in it. So that's why I say it's worth the investment in good brushes, because it's going to help your makeup application go by way faster than if you're having other brushes, and it's going to make your makeup application be a game changer. So this one is the Smoky Crease E201, and then the more precise one, which is actually a really nice crease, like to get right up in the crease. This one would be similar to the Marc Jacobs the Crease. It's not, but it would be the next one in line, I guess. And this is the Tapered Blending E209. So I would, if you can't grab the Marc Jacobs, this to me would kind of be probably its follow-up without getting a kit, because there are other brushes in kits that could do the same job, but for solo brushes, this one would probably be the next one that drops down in expense, because I have other ones that are similar, but they're still similar in price point too. So these Urban Decay ones are also really great. Now to go back to some expensive ones, this Charlotte Tilbury, it's just called Eye Blender, is amazing. It is so soft and just fluffy, and I never use it on the channel because it's expensive, it's not necessary. This is actually pretty comparable to my Carity E31. I just had the Carity E31 first, and then I wanted to try the Charlotte Tilbury. I know it's hard to tell because of the different colors in the bristles, but when you're looking at them up close and you're putting the barrels together, they are very, very similar brushes. And the Charlotte Tilbury is just, it blends so beautifully. So this one, if you're looking for a brush to spoil yourself with, it would be this one for sure. Well, one of the many ones that you could choose from. The Charlotte Tilbury Eye Blender is definitely one of them. Then the Makeup Forever Professional 242 Wavy is also a great one. I picked up a Makeup Forever one to start trying out too, and I've used it off camera to test it out a few times. And this one is super soft. It does have longer bristles, but with a light hand. This is also a really great brush to go in for the first transition because it's so fluffy. You're not going to get detailed work out of it, but it is a really great brush, and I love this one a lot. So there's that. Then I have a couple Makeup Shack. We will apparently discover it afterwards. The Makeup Shack T63 is just a really nice, small, defined brush. So you can actually use this one to get really tight in the crease if you're trying to do just small, defined work underneath your lash line because it's so little. You can use it on the inner corners. I've tried to use it on the inner corner. It's just, for me, it's a little bit too dense, but you can make it work, and you can make it work under the brow bone too. So this one is really great from the Makeup Shack. I like this one. Holy crap, you guys. You have no idea how many brushes we still have. This one is just a plain basic Sephora face. It's called a face contour. It's the number 133, but to me, this is the most perfect brush. I cannot recommend this one enough for setting your eye primer. And I use this every single day, no matter what. I put my primer down, and it's so nice and big that it just lets me set my whole eye so quickly. And it's like the perfect shape to be able to set your eye. I got glitter. A lot of powder. A lot of setting powder. I can't talk. A lot of setting powder. So I cannot recommend this one enough to you guys. Seriously, this one has been through it with me. Oh my goodness. But this one is so great, and it's going to set your eyes so quickly. And you can just kind of like pounce it off your eye too. That way it just like powder really gets in there on the primer. But I'm about to run out of time, so I have to shut this off, and then I'll turn it right back on. Alright, then I have this Sephora Pro Drawing Shadow. Pro Drawing Shadow, number 41. So she looks like this. Now this one, again, is not necessary unless you are somebody who is getting into more detailed work. And then this kind of brush comes in extremely handy along with this Smashbox multitasking detail. Do you not have a number? It does not. These two brushes, I only recommend if you do detailed work with your eyes, and then these two are awesome. This one is soft and more forgiving if you're trying to do something detailed with your crease work or whatever you're trying to do, lower lash line, detailed work. Now this Smashbox one is a little bit more firm in the bristles, and it's very pointy on the tip of it, so that point really does allow you to get like right up in here. So if you were trying to take like a paint pot, or you were doing your own mixing medium of glitter and glitter glue, and you wanted to use actual glitter instead of like an liquid liner glitter, this brush would be the brush that you would really want to have to dip it into whatever your little mixing concoction is, and then start using that to draw it on your eye and make your detailed work, because this one is just the perfect shape. So again, only if you guys do detailed work, otherwise it is really a waste of money. And I do have quite a few detailed brushes, so I'll just try to get these out of the way. I have the ABH number 3. This one is super, super little and defined. This one is more for if I kind of make a mess up and like my glitter goes too high, or I just have to touch up like the littlest bit of shadow. I like having this brush because it's just so tiny that it's gonna get like the littlest mark that I've made a mistake on, or if I have to just lightly clean up the wing or something like that. This brush is so tiny that it just lets you fix the smallest mistake and be pretty much undetectable. So this one I love for that, and I would kind of recommend you guys having a brush similar to this one, if not this one, just in case you ever make those little boo-boos along the way, even if you're not doing detailed work, because this one is really, really helpful. And then this one's more expensive. This is the Kevyn Aucoin Small Eyeshadow Eyebrow Brush. Now this is a very dense brush, but it is, again, see, his brushes come like, oh, I didn't mean to take it off all the way there. With this on it, where it's really easy to just slide it down, and then for traveling, not go all the way off like I just did to keep it protected. So that's why you see a lot of people keeping that on with Kevyn Aucoin brushes. And this one has so many different uses, because this one you can use to have a really smoky eye. You can use it to really define that crease. You can use this to go under the brow bone and just carve that out nicely with highlight. This one is so great. You can get your inner corner again so nicely. Like, this brush is incredible and I love it so much, and I use this one a lot off of camera. It's just, and it's so pretty too, like that burgundy maroon color. It's just, it's fancy pants, and I know, but I'm just sharing with you guys all the brushes that I do use. I'm not hiding anything. I'm just letting you know. So another Kevyn Aucoin that I was not thinking when it came in, and I took off my protector, is this guy, which is the Sculpting brush. This one is just a nice little densely packed brush. So this one, you can use for different things. This one is really great if you're trying to like spot conceal and just using a little, why can I not talk? A little brush. Or if you're trying to, like right now, I could try to put product on and take care of that. You can use this to help sculpt out different areas down here if you're trying to be really precise. You can use brushes however you want to. If you wanted to go down your nose with this brush, it would be really great. Even down the bridge of your nose, depending on the size of your nose, like this fits my bridge really nicely. So I love how densely packed this brush is and how little it is for detailed work. You can also buy similar brushes from Luxie, but it's much bigger. And this is the Luxie 110 Detailed Flat Blender, but look at the difference. And I like the precision of having the little one versus the big one. But there is definitely a price difference, but Luxie is still not cheap. Luxie's still expensive. So if you did want a brush like this, I would say just make the leap for the Kevyn Aucoin, because you do, at the end of the day, if you're using it for detail work, you want the smaller, more densely packed one versus the larger one. And this one will get the job done, but unless you're buying it in a pack, and the pack that this comes in, I don't even touch. Like, it came in this and then one other brush, and I only use the one other brush. I've tried a couple of these brushes other times and I just don't reach for them. So for me, that was more of a waste of money rather than a really good investment, where this little guy is really incredible. Hold on one second. Sorry guys, I'm super attractive. Runny nose, runny eyes, you're getting it all. Oh, that reminded me, I did want to share with you so I don't forget. Getting like a fan. I got this one from Lit. The founder gave it to me at an IMATS convention, but I use this every single day to fan down my MAC Fix Plus and my Lila B setting spray, and this just helps make sure that you have no like blotting spots of setting spray or anything like that. So a fan really will help, one, make everything dry down faster, and two, help everything dry down more evenly. And then of course having something like a beauty blender on hand is always really great as well too. Okay, another Kevyn Aucoin. I'll try to get the Kevyn Aucoin out of the way. I think that I'm down to my last 3 Kevyn Aucoin. Okay, I think so. Okay, so this little guy is the Sensual Skin Enhancer, but look at how little that is. So this guy is so amazing for a blemish. I only use this if I'm going out for a special event, otherwise I can't really be bothered to spend that much time like trying to cover up, you know, like that little blemish, for instance. But when you do need to cover up blemishes or something really little and you're ending up with like a big blotch of concealer and you can't really fully hide it, and then you know when you spend that time trying to blend the concealer and then all of a sudden you've spent so much time blending the concealer to try to make it seamless that all of a sudden you see the blemish again, this brush will take care of that for you because it's so little that you just have to like hit that spot and just lightly blend it and then you are golden. So this one, it's expensive, but it is a lifesaver, especially if you just want to conceal on a daily basis. This would be so worth your investment. But for me, I generally don't care unless it is something special or fancy or whatever, then I do reach for this guy to conceal. And then I have the, oh, this is the one that I talked about already. Then the other Kevyn Aucoin is the Eye Pigment. This is one of those silicone brushes, and this is so great for picking up pigment and pressed glitters. So good. You don't need a Kevyn Aucoin brush, of course. You can buy this kind of a brush in a lot of different forms. Do I have other silicone though? I know I've seen other silicone brushes. UPS is here, the dogs are about to bark. We always get like these foamy type of ones in eyeshadow kits, but this one's actually silicone, so this one's really great. If you guys have not picked up some kind of a silicone applicator, it will really make a big difference. But it doesn't have to be Kevyn Aucoin. I just know that I got that one on a deal from his website during sometime. Oh, I found a smaller stippling brush, but this one's my Sephora one. I do have a ColourPop one somewhere. So this is what I'm talking about though, with having a small one versus just having a big one. See that? So this one will be so great when you're having an issue and you just need to kind of stipple out like a little bit, or if you've gone too ham like on certain places with the highlight or your contour and you just need to get like a little bit right here. That's why you need a little stippling brush versus when you've made a big boo-boo and you have to just kind of blend everything together. So I really, really think that everybody needs a big stippling brush and a small stippling brush. This Sephora is the Pro Small Stippling number 42. All right. I cannot recommend this Sigma Cut Crease E62 brush enough. it has like a shape to it already that will help you with your cut crease as well. And so when you dip your product, like your concealer, your cream, whatever it is, on both sides, and then you lay this down at your base and you start cutting it, and then you go to start carving this out and you're just flipping the brush back and forth, this is my holy grail cut crease brush. Everybody needs this brush if you ever want to do a cut crease. The end. And then, okay, the Marc Jacobs, the Conceal. It's also another like dense brush that has that taper to it. This one though, I have not used for concealer. I think it's great when you have a liquid highlight or a cream highlight and you're just trying to be very, very precise here, like on the high points, kind of the way I use my Sigma strobing fan. But if you're using a cream product, it's so nice to get these points. Again, I don't have a dupe for this one, but these type of brushes are really, really great for that kind of detailed cream work. Just sharing it all with you guys. Sharing it all. I know, I'm sorry. Okay, this one is so unnecessary. You don't need it. I am just so obsessed with the bronzing brush. I wanted to try it out and it's not as good as I thought it was. So it's more that I'm mentioning it because I want to save you guys money if you ever got curious. This is the Tom Ford. Just Tom Ford. Okay, well it's an eye blending brush that has no, oh there we go, the number 13. And I picked this up solely because his bronzing brush is my holy grail, and I'm like, okay, well, if his bronzing brush is that amazing, I need to try out an eye brush. And it is a really great eye brush, like it really is. It's such a great blending brush. I mean, if you bought it, you wouldn't be disappointed in it. It's not a bad brush. I just don't think it's worth the money of like you're paying for Tom Ford. And it, like I said, it's an amazing blending brush, but I've talked about quite a few really great blending brushes, and this one I don't think you need. It's just, it is really nice. So if you bought it, you're not going to be mad at it. You're going to love it. It's just not necessary, but I did want to mention it in case anybody was eyeballing this one, since the bronzing one is so amazing and you're going through what I went through. Just to throw that out there. This Sephora brush, I just got really excited because I love this one. The Pro Crease number 10. This one is so good when you're trying to just get rid of harsh lines. It is so fluffy. Like, look at that. Boom. So whenever I had like harsh edges or I just couldn't blend them away, or you have too much product, this is just like gonna take care of all of that business. It is so good for that. And I've used this one on camera quite a few times. Did I tell you guys Pro Crease number 10? I don't know if I did. This one I really can't recommend enough if you're just trying to diffuse out edges, even just for that. It does work really well for a blending brush as well, but I use it more as a diffuser brush, kind of like a stippling brush for the eyes. That's how I use it, and I think that this is perfection as an eye stippling brush because it's so soft, it's so fluffy, it just really blends out everything, and you have so much control over how much you want to like stipple out your eyeshadow. And then for concealers, okay, I have two brushes that I love for blending out my color corrector and my concealer. You guys have seen them both on my channel. The Sigma 3D HD Precision I love for its shape, because this one, if you're trying to get really tight to the wing, it's not going to mess up your wing. Or if you're trying to clean up your wing with concealer, this one has that sharp line so you can clean it up. So this one I really recommend if you do wings. That one is awesome. And then the It Cosmetics Wow, this is so rubbed off. 103, but I cannot read what it's actually called. Has the word airbrush blurring concealer? Airbrush blurring concealer? 103 though, because there's another one that looks similar to this one, and you would want the 103 if you're picking it up. This one is so great for, here, let's try to, nope. That eye is just like so mad at me. But this is the brush that I use to blend out concealer, and I correct my color corrector all the time. And it's so soft, but it's also so nicely densely packed that I will bring this all the way down here, and then I'll bring it down my nose with concealer. And when I have foundation that won't cooperate in the crevice of the nose, this one gets right up in there. It gets nicely in the inner corner. Like this brush, it's just, look at that. It's so perfect. So this one I also really, really highly recommend to you guys. Like, you're missing out if you don't pick that brush up. Oh my goodness. All right, I didn't even want to talk about this one because I can't pronounce it. The Shikihudu? I know I'm so butchering it, and I've heard people say this over and over and over again, but I can't get it to stick in my head, okay? It won't stick in my head. This is a really great blending brush, but again, it's not a necessary one. It is really nice though. I did get mine off of Beautylish, and it is super soft. It really does get up in there, and it blends out everything so beautifully. It just diffuses the product so nicely. Like, this is a beautiful blending brush. You don't need it, but it is really nice if you were considering it. It is the GSN-10 brush, and it is really nice. It is, but you don't need it. Ah! Okay, there's a Marc Jacobs and there's a long comb. And then I think these are all MAC down here. Okay. Let's get this. Oh my goodness. This is so frustrating. I need to move to LA. I don't have allergies when I'm in LA. Okay, the Lancome number 16 blending tip shadow brush. You can see how nice and little this one is. See, I really like my detail brushes because I do a lot of detail work. And again, this one is super nice for under the eye, for giving a smoky eye, for getting right up in the crease and carving the crease out. This one works really well under the brow bone, inner corner. So a brush like this is also really great for detailed work. Again, it's Lancome. You don't need it. I'm just letting you guys know I have it. I use it. It is really great. So I'm more pointing out like all the different types of brushes because like this Kevyn Aucoin and the Lancome, like you don't really need both, but there is a difference. Like the Kevyn Aucoin is smaller, you know, this one's bigger. The Lancome, Kevyn Aucoin is smaller. That one's bigger and more densely packed. They do make a difference when you're doing eye makeup, but as just an average girl doing her makeup, like I was before YouTube, I would never have two of those type of brushes or probably even one of them. But I use them and I have them and I pack them on trips, so I'm sharing them. And then the Marc Jacobs, the shadow, you don't need this. This one I actually got for free with a purchase from Marc Jacobs. This is just a shader brush. You don't need this at all. I like it because of its shape though. Like I have this Sugar Pill one, look at the difference for a shader brush for the size of the bristles. So I like the fact that the Marc Jacobs one gives me more control. It's so little. And my lid, I mean, I've got a big enough lid space, but I still the sugar pill works for me and I can get it on. I have a Milani one that's hiding on me. I have a lot of Milani brushes actually. I just want to wait to do a Milani video because I ordered even more Milani brushes that I haven't had a chance to put to the test. I can't see where my Milani one is right now. Oh, there she is. There. The Milani one is still even bigger and has a different shape than the Marc Jacobs one. Trying to hold them up all together, but with enough space so you can like see them. There we go. So that's why I have it, because it was a free gift, but now that I have it, it really does make a difference because it gives you more control. You can pack on your shadow more easily. You won't go above the crease with this brush. It gives you that control where the other one is bigger, so you have to work at it, you know, more slowly again. You're not going to be like so quick and out the door. You kind of have to work downward or out, you know, just different ways when you have such a large shader brush. And the Milani one is great. It's at least smaller, so I do prefer the Milani over the sugar pill because that one gives me more control because it is tinier. But the Marc Jacobs one is just, I love that I have so much more control over my product. So there are 3 different options for you, but the Marc Jacobs one really is, it really is better, but you don't need it. There are other options. It's just gonna take you a little bit longer to get there. Okay, I have a lot of MAC ones here. So I have the MAC 239. This is also like a shader brush, but it's very short. And this one's actually really nice to kind of work the, if you're doing like an all over lid color and then also taking it because it's so tapered. Like, look how nicely tapered that is. I don't even know how to like make sure the camera focuses on how tapered that is. Because that gets up in your crease so nicely because it's so tapered. So if you're trying to like just really carve your crease with this and then you want to like pack your shadow but then really add more dimension to the crease, this brush is so perfect for it. So this one I really cannot recommend enough. There are a few MAC brushes that are really, really like you need to have. Then I'll keep them out. The MAC, okay, 239, I would really recommend. The MAC 245, because the MAC 245 is nice and rounded. So that one is really great for just dealing with a more rounded edge. Where the MAC 242, it's not rounded. Hold on, let me give it its shape back. You can see the difference. Let me hold the barrel side by side. It's more of a pointed edge, but they're both really great for different reasons. So I would really recommend those guys. And then I'd recommend, well, I think these are the 3 that you kind of really need from MAC. No, the MAC 212. This one really is the best out of all the ones I've tried like this. The MAC 212 is definitely the best one. So if you were like trying to dwindle down your MAC brushes, I would say get these 4. So the 212, because this one is so great for under the lash line, but I've tried a bunch that are like this and none are as good as the MAC. One sec. And then, I mean, you don't really need both the MAC 245 and the MAC 242, but it is really nice to have one that's totally round and one that isn't round. But if you're not getting both, I would go for the MAC 242. And then the MAC 239 is also really great because it can pack your shadows and it can really work that crease and get up in there perfectly. So these ones are really great brushes to have. Now some other MAC brushes that are also awesome are the 217. This one's fluffy and helps you work the crease and pack on shadow and get up in there. So this one's also nice to have, but not necessary at all. Just another great MAC brush. And then the MAC 221 is a really great crease fluffy brush. It's nice and long for bristles, and it really is super soft, and it will blend. Oh my gosh, my nose won't stop running. My eye won't stop running. This is awful. And this will help blend out everything. Oh my gosh, here we go. So nicely for the crease again. So this one is really great if you are placing a MAC order or you're waiting for a sale or something to that effect. And the MAC pencil brush, the 219. This one's nice, but it's not my favorite pencil brush. It's a little bit too big for me for a pencil brush. Like, it does the trick, and I've used it many times on my lower lash line, but it is a large and in charge pencil brush. So it's good, but it's a little bit too big, too dense for my eyes. Anyway, if you have bigger eyes than mine, this would probably be your perfect pencil brush, but for me it is a little bit too big. And then, all right, I have this random brush from NARS, the number 44. It's more of another detailed brush. I'm just giving you guys options, I know, but it's it is a great brush. It gets up in the crease really nicely, gets under the brow bone really nicely if you're trying to pack on that shadow there. So this is another one. You know, everybody's going to prefer different brands, different price ranges, so I'm just presenting an array. Like I said, there's so many brushes I'm not even talking about. I'm just giving you like the good ones that I didn't even realize I was running out of time and it just shut off on me. I'm just giving you guys the good ones that I use, I've traveled with, and that I know work well. Then the Kat Von D number 50 is a really nice densely packed brush again. So this one would just be a good packing on brush for all over the lid. This one would actually be similar to the Marc Jacobs shader brush, and probably a fraction of the cost. Yeah, it's similar. The Marc Jacobs, though, is still more flat, so you'd be able to then turn the Marc Jacobs on its side and then work it in the crease, where the Kat Von D, you couldn't. So the Marc Jacobs, again, is still multifunctional because you can pack it on and then you can flip it and work your crease, where the Kat Von D, you can just kind of pack it on, but there's no flipping it for precise crease work because it's fluffy. But it is a nice brush. Just, oh my gosh. Then, hold on. Then when I first started my channel, July, oh my gosh, what year are we in now? July 2016, when I started my channel, I was such a Morphe brush collector because of Jaclyn Hill. She'd been the first beauty YouTuber that I had watched, and so I bought like every brush that she used, and then my Morphe brushes started falling apart. They started shedding, they started coming apart at the barrel. I was gluing them back down, so I no longer buy Morphe, and I have a couple brushes left that have stayed intact, but I only use my Morphe brushes really for the purposes if they're going to get beat up or not. So I use this one for glitter glue. This is the Morphe M421. It's just a really tiny concealer brush, but because it's Morphe and I don't care about this brush, I use it to pack on glitter. So if it eventually just breaks on me, to me, it's not a big deal because it's not a brush that I use for anything, anytime at all anymore. They're just unreliable brushes and you have to pay for shipping. I mean, now at least they're more accessible, but I had even backups of Morphe brushes that I kept going through them too, so I just don't use them anymore. They were falling apart too often. I had to re-glue them too often, but this one I use. This is my glitter glue brush, but any concealer brush works. I just use this one because I have it and I'm not going to throw away brushes that are still good brushes. Then I recommend a brush like this to everybody. I think it's necessary to have this for multiple reasons. Obviously to comb through your brows and comb through your lashes, but I also take care of my false lashes by combing through my false lashes with this part every single day too, in case there's any glue or leftover product. So I like to comb, once they're off of my eyes, I like to comb through them the next day when all the product is dry to get anything off of them. So this kind of a tool just comes in really handy. This is from Sephora. It is the Pro Brow Comb number 21. Obviously you can get something like this anywhere, but I always get mine from Sephora. Oh my gosh! All right. And then the Sephora Pro Slanted Buffing Detail number 89 brush. This one is really great for blending out cream contour. I don't cream contour very often, but this one is really great. It just gets up in there. So I take that part down and then buff upward, and that works really, really well. So if you're into cream contour and you have not tried out this brush, this is a really great cream contouring brush. Then the Anastasia A23 highlighting brush is what I used forever before I discovered my Ray Morris brush off of Beautylish. So this one would be, if you don't want to buy the Ray Morris, I would recommend the Anastasia A23 brush, because this one really is still a great highlighting brush. And it will let you blend everything out to perfection. And I still use this one for collarbone highlighting, which I don't have on right now, but where are we? I don't know, you get the drill. I can't do this like backwards viewfinder mirror thing. I can't do it. But this is a really great highlighting brush. To me, it's the best one that I've ever used aside from the Ray Morris. The A23 is next in line, but I don't use it anymore aside from collarbone highlighting because of the Ray Morris. Oh my goodness. And then I don't bake under my eyes very often. I find that baking is a better technique. Oh my god. I'm dying, you guys. I find that baking is a better technique for a younger generation, like people who don't have any wrinkles. But the few times that I do bake, I like to use the Luxie 522 Tapered highlighter to actually kick off the bake because of the shape. First of all, it gets up in there really nicely, and I should use this side, and it just sweeps away bake effortlessly, and it's like the perfect shape for underneath the eye, and it's so fluffy and soft. So I really love this brush for kicking away bake. It is perfection. And then the Esum T47 is so great for putting on the cream contour. It's dense enough so you can really pack it or draw it on and then use the other one. You can use this to also buff it up, or you can use the Slanted brush from Sephora to blend it upward. But this is a really great brush, and I get my Esum brushes off of Muse Beauty Pro, and Esum is also cruelty free. And then another Esum brush that I really do like is the T39. This one is a really nice detailed brush. If you guys watch me do my husband's makeup, I used it to contour his nose. Now, I never contour my nose because it's already really little, but if I was ever going to just like stamp out powder, this would be perfect to stamp out powder over here. Or if I needed to do anything really detailed for sculpting something right out in here with powder, this one would be perfect for sculpting with powder. This is just a really versatile, nice face detailing brush. So this one I really love. And this powder brush from Esum, the T49, this is divine. Like, you have no idea how beautiful this face brush is. It is just heavenly. I need to so blow my nose and I can't. It just keeps running on me. Ah. And I've been like this for over a month, and I'll be like this probably until September. Shoot me now. But this really is a great, I mean, you could even like bronze with this brush. I don't, but I think it's really great to like pack on powder with. It's just, again, it's not necessary. It's really expensive, but it just feels so wonderful and it's so luxe on the skin. I wanted to make mention of it. I guess while we're in face brushes, we kind of like took a time out. I have a lot more eye brushes. Let me grab more face brushes and we'll take a little eye brush break and jump into some face brushes. All right, the Tom Ford bronzing brush. This is like the only bronzing brush that I will use. It is the number 5 brush. It is just so large and in charge and perfect. This is what I use every single day to bronze. It is just like, it gets everywhere. It gets around your perimeter. It gets you, but it's like perfect for how it hugs your cheeks and it blends the contour. And I mean, it's just, it's amazing. I mean, yeah, this is so expensive for a brush, but I've had mine now for like a year and a half and I don't even know if I've lost a bristle. It is so incredible. It needs definitely a deep clean. This is also stained. It's not actually this dirty, but it does need a deep clean all the way down. I think it's probably time for a deep clean. But yeah, this brush, if you can make the investment, you will never go back. It's amazing. It really, really is. Now the IT brushes for Ulta, this is the number 225, not 255. I'm so sorry about that the other day, but the number 225 is what I use to set my face. I love the dome and how you can just really pack on all of the powder to set the face. I think that this one is perfection for face setting. Like, just the best brush I've ever used as far as setting the face goes. And then this Royal and Landical, but the Moda Pro version, the BMX-130 Pointed Blush. I don't use it for blush. I use it to kick off the bake when I bake my contour line. This is so perfect for when I have that. And I bake my contour line every day, so this brush is fantastic. Here is another stippling brush that I have. This one was a gift to me from Luxie at a beauty event though, so that's why I have another one. But again, you can never have too many. This is another size in completely. I have like 5 different sizes, I think, of stippling brushes. So this was my very first stippling brush actually, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I need a bigger one, I need a smaller one, I need a medium one. So this one is the one that got me hooked on stippling brushes. This is the number 516. Then what I actually use for contour every day is the Luxie 130 Detailed Angle. So you start up at the ear, and I'll draw my straight line down so I get that like line where I need it. And then I take my Royal and Landical Oh, this one is a Royal Langnickel Contour BMD-120. And this one I will then use to blend, and you blend upward with your contour too. So this is my powder contour combination that I use every single day. Oh, here's my ColourPop one that I was talking about. This one is a very dense, very densely packed stippling brush. So this one is great if you've really made a mistake and you need to like go in hard to correct it, because this one you're like going to move product around. So that's why I like the ColourPop one. I bought this before they started putting numbers on their brushes though, but that's what it looks like. And this is really great. It's just that this one should not be your like only stippling brush, because it won't get the job done for you for all around. It's too dense, it's too tiny. If you had this one, you still need a bigger one to help with bigger mistakes, because if you started using this one for your whole face, I'm not actually touching my face, this would pull all the product around. So this is more for like just spot touching up. So it is really great, but spot touch-ups only. Okay. Oh my goodness. Then I used to use the Kat Von D number 25 brush for setting under my eyes before Wayne Goss came out with this holiday brush. Now I only use this holiday brush, and it's available on Beautylish as of a couple of days ago anyway. I think it was still on there. But if it's not, I did use the Kat Von D number 25, but you can see a big difference in them. And this one still does fit like really nicely under the eye to set under the eye. And then I'd also take it to set in between my eyebrows. But this one is softer, and it's just so much softer for the eyes, because the eyes is such a delicate area. So I just like that this is soft for the delicate skin. And then this one I still use for up under my brows too. And this one wasn't that expensive. This is $35 or $40, because Kat Von D is around the same. So you're not really saving much by going the Kat Von D way anyway. And this is a much better brush. But I do have the Kat Von D because I had it for like a year before the Wayne Goss one anyway. Oh my gosh. Okay, the Smashbox Precise Highlighter is also a really great highlighting brush. I don't use it often because I like to go in with the Sigma fan instead, but because of that slanted angle, it will really help you do like precise highlighting if you would rather do that kind of a highlighting for spotlight highlighting versus getting up in there and blending like I do. I like the fan because I like being able to do the spotlight and then really blending it out and then getting that like bam spotlight, versus working it with this. I don't find it to get as blinding. So if you want to intensify but not like crazy intensify, I think the Smashbox is the way to go. If you like the way my spotlight always turns out, then the Sigma strobing fan F42 is definitely the way to go, and this just allows for a nicer blend too. The other one doesn't give you that blendability like this one does. And then of course I always start with the Ray Morris Deluxe Kabuki #1 brush. This one just hugs your cheekbone and will give you the most perfect blend, an effortless blend. There's like nothing you need to do. All you need to do is go put the highlighter on and you have a blended highlight. You don't have to do anything else. With the A23, you still have to kind of work it a little bit. Hold on. I feel like I need to just like shove a roll of toilet paper up my freaking nose. Okay. Then the It Cosmetics Heavenly Luxe Flawless Blush Brush is the best blush brush I have ever used in my life. It is so soft and it just hugs. You can smile and it gets the apples, or you just like, it just moves and it's flexible and it's beautiful. I was addicted and this one never broke down, so I'll give credit where credit is due to the Morphe E4 forever. This one to me was like my perfect blush brush, but it's so much more dense, and I did really love this one and it never fell apart. So this one was always such a great blush brush. See, it still does give flexibility, but it's more stiff when you're trying to smile and blend out blush. But this one is just like, oh, it's night and day on the face. This one is more, it's soft, but when you feel them, this one is like silk, where this one is like kind of like more scratchy almost. And it's funny, I never thought of this as being scratchy. But oh my gosh, is there ever a difference? Wow. Well, if you guys didn't want to get this one, I mean, I used this for a long time and I loved it, but dang, there's a difference. I so cannot recommend that one enough to you guys. And then I use the Moda Pro Chisel BMX-250. I can't really demo this, but to like carve out, because it stays soaked in my white powder, to carve out my contour and bake my contour line. This is what I use every single day, and it is my favorite. And there's powder on this from that brush. Then when I really want my full coverage and I haven't done like a retinol treatment or anything, I have never come across a better full coverage brush than the Marc Jacobs The Face No. 3. This will give you full coverage like no other brush on the planet. It is amazing. It is still fairly soft. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not a hard brush. I don't feel like I'm scaring you guys. Like, it's soft. It's just, you know, a beauty blender is softer, and my Luxie 532 round top blender, I mean, it also takes a lot longer. This one's just a softer brush too. So when my skin's just a little bit sensitive from treatments, this is softer, a beauty blender is softer, but this one, oh my gosh. If you're looking for full coverage and you need to get the job done and you're not gonna have skin that's like peeling on you from a retinol treatment or something, this is the way to go. Amazing brush. I don't know what he did, but this is amazing. But this Luxie one that I just mentioned, the 532, is my other favorite brush. Like, for foundations, these are my 3 favorites right here. So that gives you a little idea. And then, okay, hold on. This sauce box, this one they all get covered in powder from that chisel brush. This Sauce Box Cosmetics is also really nice for like kicking away bake or contouring. This one is also very versatile, but you have to buy it in a kit. So I bought it in a kit because I think all these brushes are so pretty, but it's so not necessary. I'm just making mention of it because I know you guys have seen it on the channel. And then I used to use this one for precise highlighting. It's the Sigma High Cheekbone Highlighter F03. So this one will also give you a precise highlight. It's not like the Smashbox where it has a slant or anything like that. So it is a very different brush, but I used to use that one when I wanted to add on more highlight and make it a little bit more intense. But I do still much prefer a strobing fan because of the blend. So, but I know you guys saw that one before too, so I didn't want to make mention of it. And then the last one in here is another Kevyn Aucoin contour, but this one I really like, again, for cream products instead. I don't use it for contour. You can use it for contour, but it's really nice for cream highlights and to apply it that way. It's just densely packed and I like it, but it's not necessary, but it's really great for that. Okay, give me a second to clean up this mess and then I'll be right back. Alright, back to some eye brushes. So then you guys have seen me use the Esum T37. I think that this is perfection when you are doing just part of a metallic eye and then the rest is a matte, because this shape will help you just pull out the eyeshadow for a matte finish outward, and it is just perfection. So I cannot recommend this brush to you guys enough. Like, this is just everything. You guys need this one. You need this too. And you can get Esum brushes from Muse Beauty Pro. I think I mentioned that. I don't know if I did though. All right, then the other Luxie brushes that I really do love for eyes, and I think that most of these Luxie ones came in an eye kit. I know some were individual from like a BoxyCharm, but these ones are really great too. The Luxie 231 Small Tapered Blending and the Luxie 235 Blending. So again, just different sizes for blending, scaling down the brush, going from a bigger brush to a smaller one. This is more for the crease, and these are both really great. They're both very, very soft. All of Luxie brushes are synthetic hair, so again, these are they're just great. I really cannot say enough good things about Luxie brushes. Okay, Sauce Box. So these 4 I really like from Sauce Box. The pencil brush, these came in a kit. The pencil brush is too dense for my liking, so this one's an all-over shader brush. Again, this one's a little bit too big compared to the Marc Jacobs, but if I'm doing an all-over shader, like from here all the way down, I don't mind a big one like this or like the Sugar Pill, so I like this one a lot. This one again is similar to the Luxie with how it is carved out. So you can also do kind of like a cut crease with your shadow because of it having that curvature to it. And I think this one is really great. Just in case you guys wanted to buy one collection versus another collection, the Sauce Box are also really great and the Luxie brushes are also really great. And then you would get 2 smaller blending brushes too, which I also both love a lot. This one is a nice big fluffy blending brush. This would kind of be my second one in. This wouldn't be my first blending brush, and then this would be my third brush in to taper it down even more because it's so nice and small. But I've also used this one to give me a really nice smoky lower lash line, and this one works really well underneath the lower lash line. Even though it looks big, it works out well. If you have small eyes, I don't know if it would, but having like medium-sized eyes or bigger than mine, this works out really, really well for having a super smoky lower lash line. That one is really great. Then every day, you guys don't really see me ever prepping my eyes. I just come on camera when it's ready to start the tutorial. I always use my Carity E32 to apply my eye primer. So I'll dip into my MAC paint pot. Oh my gosh. And this is just so perfect. It's the perfect size to go into a paint pot, and it's the perfect size to apply that all over the lid and prime everything. So this brush is affordable and it is perfection. And it's that same type of synthetic hair like the MAC bristles are for an all over, if you wanted to do like a mask or something, it's these kind of bristles. It's just covered in primer right now, but this one is really great and I highly, 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 highly recommend that baby. And then, all right, this Makeup Geek Outer V brush, is so easy to use. It is so perfect for the outer V. Like, they killed it on the shape of this. I used to use it all the time. Now I just kind of grab whatever's on hand, generally a Wayne Goss brush, but this Makeup Geek Outer V, if you guys want like the perfect outer V brush, this one really is fantastic. And I should be using it way more than I do because it is that good. The Sigma, I have a few Sigma. Let me grab them. Be nice if they were all one color. But they're not. These Sigma brushes, I have the Tapered Blending E35. This one is a really nice big fluffy brush. This would be like a really great all over one, but it's not as soft as the Carity, but it still is a really great big fluffy brush. The Sigma Diffused Crease E38. This one's a little bit more stiff. This one I don't reach for that often, which is kind of surprising, but it does help diffuse your crease if you've put too much product in the crease. I just usually keep blending and blending and blending with whatever brush I have, but it does work well to diffuse the crease if you have laid down too much of a dark color or something in that crease. It is a helpful brush, so I did want to make mention of it. Then we have some IT brushes. I think these are both for Ulta. Yeah, IT brushes for Ulta. So the number 112 Airbrush Precision Shadow is actually a really great cream eyeshadow brush. So whenever I use like the Tarte, those Tarte pots, the cream with the cream in them, this is fantastic to pick up like those really dense paint pots or anything cream. This is the perfect brush to apply the cream product to your whole lid with. You could also use it for just shadow, but this is so good for cream. And then the IT for Ulta Airbrush Blending Crease number 105. Again, just another option for a crease blending brush. It's really nice. You don't need this many brushes. I'm just presenting you with options. Keep that in mind. But it is a really nice blending brush, and it is super soft, and it does really get the job done well for blending. So another great option. Then we have the two Tarte brushes that I have more recently discovered, but I have fallen in love with, and it sucks that these were part of a kit, but if you can find these individually, then I would grab them. This one is that more fluffy brush, and this is the more tapered one. And I think that this does a really great job at doing kind of what my Carity E31 does, and it's so soft. I actually used these today. And then this one still being like a blending brush, but being able to get right up in the crease because it has that, like, you know, it's pinched, so it works really well in the crease. So I used these ones today, and they were just, they're so awesome. I can't get enough of them. They really are great. And then I have two OCC, Obsessive Compulsive Cosmetic brushes. These are great. OCC is cruelty-free, vegan. I love the brand so much. These are not numbered though, and they don't have names either, which is a bummer. But I have a fluffy, bigger blending brush and a smaller tapered one, and I just love them so much as well. These ones, look at that. So good. And again, so good. This would be, I'm like wiping away my makeup at this point, and I haven't even taken my pictures yet, but it's okay. Like, for real. Yep, I've been wiping away my makeup. But this is a really great blending brush, and then this one's really great for getting right up in the crease and doing the job that way. I love supporting OCC whenever I can because they are an indie brand and they're cruelty-free, and they just try really hard, and they're such a small brand still, so I really love OCC, and I should start using it more frequently in videos actually. I just try to use things that I know are a little bit more accessible to you guys. I am struggling. Alright, and then not necessary, but this long comb number 17 blending shadow. It is amazing. It blends so nicely. So not necessary at all, but it is good if you were ever wondering about long comb brushes. Then another one that I have left over from Morphe is the M506. This one I think is perfection. Hold on. I'm going to have no makeup left on my face by the time this video is done. I was going to keep filming more and more videos, but I think I'm going to call it a night after this one because I'm just dying. This Morphe M506 is perfection for highlighting like your precise areas. This is what I always use for highlighting underneath my eyebrow, my inner corner, and then down the bridge of the nose, tip of the nose, and the Cupid's bow, and here and here. This one is so good. It has held up through the last year and a half, and it has not broken. Knock on wood so I don't jinx it. But I really, this one, I can't live without for highlighting. And I've tried to find dupes for it and other brushes, and there's just no other brush like it. I've tried every company, as you guys have seen a taste of, and there's nothing like that one. Then this MAC 231 is so great for very, very precise work. Like just doing that split halo, like in the middle, if you're doing a cut crease halo, this one is so good. I need to do that on the channel actually, but this is really good for that kind of an eye look, or just anything that needs to be done very precisely with liquid on the eye, because it is a synthetic brush that is so tiny. So again, this is the MAC 231. I'd really recommend that one. This one is the Carity E30. This is more, it looks really soft, but it's kind of more of a dense, I'm running out of eyeshadow. It's more dense. I bought this one initially. I wouldn't really recommend this one to you guys for a blending brush. So I didn't want to mention that just because I don't really use it. And you guys know I love Carity, but I don't love that brush. And then the MAC 218 SE is another really great precise brush. It just has such a great tip and not a ton of bristles. So this one is so good for like the littlest detailed work. But again, not necessary unless you're doing very, very detailed work. Okay, we're getting there, you guys. Okay, the Wayne Goss brushes that I am obsessed with are the Wayne Goss number 16. I used this guy today. This one is the brush that I would go in with first, kind of like my Carity E31. That's what I used today as my first brush. And I should probably dip back into that first shade and rebuild this color because she's gone and I haven't taken the pictures for the day. And then my Wayne Goss number 20. You guys know I can't live without this. This is my like first step for smoking out the lower lash line all of the time. It's fantastic. His number 21 for shaping the brows is really great. I rarely shape my brows, but since I got this, I've used it a few times, and when I do shape my brows correctly, not just draw them or color them in, when I actually take the time to like precisely, this is so good. I barely do it, but it is really, really good. And then I mean, he has like a fan brush that's awesome, but this one's like too big and I'm not about like the light highlighting, so that's why I don't really use that. Oh my goodness. His little pencil brush is really, really great. This is the number 5. I like the pencil brush. I'm still undecided on the number 8 from the holiday collection. I actually don't think that I'm obsessed with this. Like, it's fine, but it's not like, oh my god, I have to have it. Oh, I forgot I put one more Esum brush in with this one. This is the T39, and this is really great when I have a little bit too harsh of a contour line. I just go over this and blend it some more, and this is perfection for like blending the contour. And it's so soft, like you have no idea how soft this is on the skin. This is amazing, 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 amazing. And then I also really like the Wayne Goss number 4. This one is really great for blending. Same with the number 18. The number 17 I do reach for, but not a ton. And the number 19 I really like a lot too. And it's funny because I've got all of these Wayne Goss brushes left over that I like and I use, but I'm not like telling you guys like, oh my god, you need these in your life type of a thing. They're great and I would never get rid of them. I love them. Like they're still, like this brush, it's a highlight brush, I think. I want to say this one is a highlighting brush. So this one would be really beautiful and it would, oh my god. My nose is going to be the death of me. This would be a really pretty highlighting brush. And I think that this would blend everything out as nicely as the Ray Morris. I just already have the Ray Morris, but I should try this out one day to see because I think that this would be really great. This is the number 14, in case I didn't say that. And yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. I mean, I don't know why, I just don't really reach for these ones. This would be a great contour. I just get stuck in my ways. This would be great for contour. With my brush combinations that I already really like, and then I don't really veer off too much from it after that. So I do need to veer off a little bit more though. And I have started because I have been testing out brushes and I have a bunch from the drugstore to test out for you guys and to put to let you guys know about, because I have not like even tried out my Real Techniques ones. They just look too pretty. Like I almost want to buy a backup set and just keep these ones looking pretty. And oh yeah, like the Tarte brushes. I haven't even like put these Tarte brushes, that whole face kit to the test. Like I have a lot of brushes. I still haven't played really with my Lime Crime new set. Like there's so many brushes, I'm telling you guys, that I haven't even tried yet. I have a bunch from Eco Tools I haven't tried yet. So there are a lot that I still do need to give a try and report back to you on, but I just haven't gotten there yet. It's just, and this video is an hour. Oh my gosh. Just, oh my gosh. Okay, let me know if you want me to do another video that is more condensed with just like my daily brushes, because right now I am dying and I need to just go to bed. And then I will do a more condensed video of just, you know, what I use like in a typical video, even what you don't see when I'm off camera doing my face or something. If you want to see like just a one day typical video brush set, if you guys want to see that too. And then I can also do that as well to make it even more condensed. So, holy cow, we made it. That is it for this video. Thank you guys so much if you hung in there with me being a disaster. I love you guys so, so very much. So please thumbs this video up if you liked it. Please share. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, good night, good morning, wherever you are. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you later. Bye, guys.